Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Thank you very much, Paul. Welcome, everybody, to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Josh Taylor in tonight for Rich Walsh. He is out on the West Coast with the Steelers getting ready to face the Raiders tomorrow afternoon. Let's start right there. This is a serious opportunity for the Steelers because it's a game they practically need to win. There's no way to be more or less frank about it. They need to win this game. With only a handful of games left remaining in the season, this is one of the ones they need to lock down, considering the fact they have to deal with New Orleans still, and the Patriots still, and the Bengals still. This is a game they need to win, even though history will tell you with this team, especially with Mike Tomlin, with Ben Roethlisberger, Oakland seems to be a place where they can't necessarily win easily, but this is one of those times that they need to buck that trend. So that's what we're looking at as far as tomorrow. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, you look down the course of the season. I was talking about New England and facing New Orleans as well. You're talking about two of the better offenses in the league, and it becomes all the more apparent and all the more important that the Steelers' offense has to be at its absolute best in December. It cannot be one of those cases, even though James Conner isn't playing tomorrow, even though you will have to rely on Stephen Ridley, and you will have to rely on Jalen Samuels and anybody else you might have to put in there in the backfield. I know Ryan Switzer gets some looks back there, which make a lot of people, including myself, nervous. This offense has to be at the best it absolutely can be, and that includes Ben Roethlisberger. He's got to find a way to peak in December and be a lot better than he's been in some of the games that he's played. And the losses that they've had, I think his interception and touchdown ratio is almost an even 1-to-1 as opposed to maybe 3-to-1 in games that they win. I think it tells a lot of difference as far as, being able to score and not turn the ball over as much. And on the other side of it, the Steelers defense, when two of your leading guys in turnovers, one of them is a backup and the other one is a rookie, that's not saying a lot as far as takeaways are concerned. Three guys lead this team with 2 takeaways: Terrell Edmonds, Mike Hilton, and Anthony Chickillo, which should tell you a lot. So the defense also has to be able to make some plays, especially in situational football. That becomes even more important also. A lot of college basketball going on today, backyard brawl, both men's and women's for Pitt and West Virginia. West Virginia sweeps both ends of it. The men win in Morgantown, the women win today over at the Pete. So back-to-back wins for West Virginia on that front. Robert Morris loses to Siena. Duquesne facing Longwood tomorrow, so still a lot still to transpire this weekend in college basketball. Penguins lose on the road tonight in Ottawa in overtime in a game that got kind of weird if you look at it from different angles. Both goaltenders, I think, spot of the game. Casey DeSmith once again did a tremendous job in net. Probably didn't deserve the result that he got, especially being shorthanded in overtime 4-on-3 after too many men on the ice penalty, which Evgeny Malkin promptly took responsibility for when the game was over. So probably not the result Casey DeSmith deserved. And a little bit of some extra curricular activity. Chris Letang, Matthew Tkachuk got tangled up quite a bit throughout that game. They eventually fought later on. Possible slew foot from Brian Rust that wasn't called. So a lot of craziness. That game kind of got out of hand as it went. But the Penguins leave with the point. Maybe should have left with 2 in a game that Sidney Crosby described afterwards as both teams wanted to get 2 points out of it, but only one could do so. So the Penguins at least get out of Ottawa with a point. Also, for the second night in a row, only 2 WPIL teams in the state championships. Second night in a row, that team brings home a state title. Last night, it was Penn Hills. Today, it is Aliquippa. So congratulations to both of those schools on state championships as well. So a lot to really celebrate and a lot to be excited about in the local sports atmosphere. 412-575-2600 is the number on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Give me a call. We'll talk some college basketball. We'll talk Steelers. We can even talk Heisman Trophy. Kyler Murray is the guy to take home the Heisman over Tua Tagovailoa and Dwayne Haskins. Maybe we'll get into that as well. Bowl season's right around the corner. Will Greer has elected not to play for West Virginia. I imagine some people have some feelings about that. Give me a call. We'll talk about it. See you in a few.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.